One of the most important topics of our time is fatherhood. I'm Spencer Holman, President and CEO of Father's Time, and I have the pleasure of working with some incredible people as we try to eliminate fatherlessness in America and help dads strive for fatherhood excellence. One of these people is no other than Phillip Jackson, founder and director of the Black Star Project. In late June 2013, I flew to Chicago to speak with Phillip, meet his staff, and attend the first Black Male Achievement graduation put on by the Black Star Project. I felt it was time to meet the man who unites over 1 million fathers across our country every year. I was not disappointed. Phillip Jackson is the real deal. He's a genuine man, and he was more than accommodating to me. He was open, he was humble, and he was honest. I spent 5 days volunteering and shadowing Phillip. During that time, we spoke about business, family, community, life, leadership, and anything else that came to mind. He doesn't give many personal one-on-one interviews, so I was honored when he agreed to talk with Father's Time. So without any further delay, here's a rare and exclusive interview with Phillip Jackson. To kick off our 30-minute interview, I asked Phillip what he thought about Father's Time and the Father's Time magazine. Here's what he had to say.
There absolutely needs to be a magazine like Father's Time. It's absolutely the right entity for this time, especially for African American fathers. There has to be a rallying point. There has to be a catalyst, and there has to be a place, if you will, where Black fathers can go and can find relief, comfort, and support. And so I read an article recently about the curse of Black fathers. And it's really the curse of Black men. It's how we compete against each other. It's how we work against each other. It's how we hurt each other. And we don't even know why. And so it has become a curse that grandfather passes down to his son and father passes down to his son. And unfortunately, unless we break this curse, our young men of today will pass down to their sons. So there has to be a truth teller. There has to be someone who's unafraid to tell the truth, even though it's never popular. And that's what I think about Father's Time.
I asked Phillip the popular question, why did you start the Black Star Project? His answer was compelling.
I started the Black Star Project because when I was growing up, there wasn't a Black Star Project or anything like it. There wasn't an agency that advocated for me as a young Black man. There wasn't a place where I felt safe, where I felt honored, where I felt that I could be a young Black man. So I started the Black Star Project. Not only do we work with young Black men, we work with young girls, we work with Latinos, we work with Asians, we work with everybody. Anyone who walks through those doors, if they're interested in education, if they're interested in improving themselves, if they're interested in helping themselves and the rest of the people in the world, then they belong to Black Star.
With the economy being the way it has in recent years, I wanted Phillip to talk about funding and the fiduciary responsibilities of how organizations allocate their funds to help the community and their partners. His comments were very insightful.
The Black Star Project exists because we have multiple streams of funding. In today's newspaper, there's an organization in Chicago, UNO, which is a Latino organization that has received about $150 million in funding. In today's newspaper, it said that they spent $143,000 for a fireworks show, but they haven't paid contractors who've completed a job 9 months ago. And so we look at several streams of funding: government funding, corporate funding, foundation funding, fee-for-service funding, as well as membership funding. And what we have found is by having that kind of a balance, we can protect ourselves against the whims of government or against the ups and downs of the economy. And I would suggest that any not-for-profit that's serious about staying around, Black Star has been around for 17 years now, that any not-for-profit that wants to have longevity, you cannot depend on one or two sources of funding.
To extend the funding conversation, I asked Phillip to discuss his views on sustainability. The wisdom he imparted here is invaluable.
Sustainability is based in the balance of two concepts. Number one, being true to your original mission, but number two, being flexible, being adaptable, and being nimble, being able to change on a dime. Now, what that means is you have your original mission, but you shouldn't fall on your sword. You shouldn't live and die with that mission only. The world changes. And so what we started out with as a mission at the Black Star Project, which was to eliminate the racial academic achievement gap, it has expanded now. And it's expanded to provide, excellent educational services to communities, to families, as well as to individuals. And so we're still working to eliminate the racial academic achievement gap. And so our core mission is still embedded in what we're doing now. But it was very important that we expand how we sought to implement that mission and bring those ideas into execution. That has expanded, and it has made us larger, more powerful, and more recognized. So I would ask people to do those two things. Have your original vision, but be flexible in your thinking, be supple, be nimble, and be ready to go, ready to grow.
Being in Chicago over the last few days, I saw some things that I liked and some things that I did not like. So I asked Phillip a very straightforward question. What is the relationship between the Black Star Project and the city of Chicago? His answer was equally straightforward.
The Black Star Project and the city of Chicago have a love-hate relationship. They love us when we're doing things that support their program, and they hate us when we're not. And so they love us when we're helping to get 30 or 40,000 fathers to bring their children to school for Million Father March a day. But then they hate us, like when we had a rapper, Lupe Fiasco, come and speak to graduates, and he told them that Chicago had the worst school system in the world. And so we don't live to be either loved or hated by the city of Chicago. We live to make sure that young black men succeed. And we really don't care how anyone feels about us doing that kind of work.
With all the publicity and accolades that the Million Father March gets around the nation, and the tens of thousands of fathers that become motivated to participate in their child's education every year, I was curious to know what the relationship between the Black Star Project and the Chicago public school system was like. Hold on to your seats for this answer.
The Black Star Project also has a strange relationship with the Chicago public schools. And it's probably any large institution. As we grow, I believe that large institutions feel threatened by the Black Star Project. They feel threatened that we're trying to accomplish their mission, such as with the Chicago public schools. Yes, we do tutor their children, and yes, many times we have more success tutoring their children than they have teaching them. But we're not competing with them. And yes, we work with their young men. Yes, we work with their parents. And as I said, many times we have as much or more success working with these populations than they do. So they feel threatened. And there's no need for the Chicago public schools or for any school system to feel threatened by the help that we try to bring to successfully educating and raising children.
I asked Phillip to discuss his feelings about the current conditions in the Chicago public school systems and the black male achievement gap. You could feel the deep concern in his voice when he answered this question.
In talking about the Chicago public schools, probably Lupe Fiasco said it best when he addressed graduates from the Chicago public schools. He said, "Congratulations, you have just graduated from the most substandard, worst school system in the world." So I think maybe that was a little bit over the top, but maybe not much. So when it comes to the Chicago public schools, we want to help them do better. We want to help them educate the masses of their children, all of their children. But once again, they don't reach out to us, and when we reach to them, we generally don't get great results.
With more and more organizations leveraging their resources and collaborating for one reason or another, I was curious to know what the relationship between the Black Star Project and other community-based organizations, as well as faith-based organizations in Chicago was like. Here's what Phillip had to say.
Black Star, we consider ourselves a collaborative partner to about 500 different organizations, community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, social service agencies, colleges, not-for-profits, businesses, for-profits. So we've got lots of partners. But we go into our partnerships looking to be of service, not asking, well, what can you do for us, or asking, how can we benefit from this partnership. We go into all of our partnerships saying, this has got to be mutual, and we're willing to extend ourselves first. But if you reach back to us, every time you reach back, we'll reach back to you 2, 3, 4 times harder than you're reaching to us.
I had to know the secret. I had to know how Phillip and his team were able to get other cities throughout the country to participate in the Million Father March. You're going to love this answer.
Black Star has mastered certain uses of technology. That's how we've gotten over 600 cities to participate in the Million Father March. And so we use technology to contact schools, to contact churches, to contact community centers in places in remote Iowa, in the middle of the Bronx, New York City, on Stone Mountain, Georgia, down in the bayou of Louisiana. We have gone all over this country, up in Alaska, to get fathers to participate in the Million Father March. And it is mostly through the use of technology. Without technology, we would not be able to accomplish this.
Almost every day, myself, along with probably a million others, receive the Black Star Project newsletter in their email. So I asked Phillip to comment on a few recent articles he wrote that is demanding a lot of national attention. There were 2 that came to his mind.
There are a couple of articles that I've done that are seminal in impact. One is America has lost a generation of black boys. It made the declaration. It's too late. They're gone. The horse is out the barn and is running up in the fields, and you can't just bring them back in. That article, America has lost a generation of black boys, declared that we, this country, and my race, the black race, we were asleep. It happened on our watch, and we are responsible for losing a generation of black boys. And then it asks a question: are we going to lose 2? Are we going to lose 3? Or are we going to lose every generation of black boys from henceforth? The other article is now that America has no more cotton to pick, what is it going to do with 40 million black people? And a lot of people, Mr. Lupe Fiasco, in his remarks, he brought that up. America was not designed to have 40 million black people in it, working, being successful, going to schools, doing well in schools. America wasn't designed that way. It was basically designed with black people being slaves, working in subservient positions, never really learning how to think or learning how to implement, and that's how America was designed. Now, I'm not saying that Americans are bad, that our forefathers were bad. I'm just trying to say that's what the design was. So the question again arises, now that there is no more cotton to pick, what is America going to do with 40 million black people? And unfortunately, it seems to be they're going to put them in jail. They're going to keep them economically deprived. They're going to keep them undereducated or uneducated. And even though that may not be a conscious or intentional decision by America, it is the decision nonetheless. And so the question becomes not what is America going to do about 40 million black people. It's what are 40 million black people going to do in America? And right now, that is an unanswered question. It's not even being talked about. It's not even being thought about in terms of black people in America. What is our position in America? How do we enhance our position? How do we enhance our value to this country and to the American proposition? We're not even talking about it. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it at the university level, at the national civil rights level. I haven't heard it out on the streets with the brothers selling loose squares and bootleg CDs. And until we start asking and answering that question, we will never be able to get the kind of results that are going to help African Americans become great American citizens and to remain great American citizens.
This year, I anticipate the Black Star Project's Million Father March to be conducted in over 800 cities throughout our great nation. So I was curious to know what the relationship between the Black Star Project and other black national organizations was like. Phillip's comments were devastatingly sad to me.
The curse of fathers and black fathers and the curse of black men is also the curse of national organizations. And so organizations like the NAACP nationally, the Urban League nationally, even Reverend L. Sharpton's organization, NAN, they don't reach out to us. In fact, we've reached out to them numerous times to ask them to participate in the Million Father March, and unfortunately, either they have too much hierarchy and bureaucracy, or they're just not interested. No, it's not an issue for us. We have had success working with many of the local chapters of those organizations, and we will keep doing so. We do have a good relationship with the Nation of Islam, especially Minister Ismail Muhammad, Brother Larry Muhammad, and the University of Islam. So we do work with those kinds of national organizations. And I do have to say that Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. has invited us to Operation Push numerous times. So if that's a partnership that possibly can happen as well.
Now that the Black Star Project has achieved the goal of getting 1 million fathers to participate in the Million Father March throughout the country, I wanted to know where Phillip wants the Black Star Project to be in 5 years. Passion is what I felt when he responded.
In 5 years, I see Black Star working more and more on quality. We can't get much bigger in terms of our mission. We're in 600 cities with the Million Father March. We're in 53 cities with the Saturday University, about 100 cities with our mentoring program. I don't even want to get bigger. I want to get better. I want to serve the people that we're serving much better than we are, and as well as they deserve excellent service. So it's going to be all about quality over the next 5 years. So we will transform ourselves. We will reinvent ourselves. In 5 years from now, people are going to look back and say, wow, where did they come from? How did they get to be so powerful? Not powerful in that we threaten people, powerful in that we scare people, but powerful in that people look at us and they see the way that we're helping people. So that's where I see us in the next 5 years.
To wrap up this interview, I asked Phillip where he thought the black community would be in 5 years. His answer was powerful and to the point.
In 5 years, we have two options, and these are serious options. So in 5 years, the black community will have started to turn itself around, to build itself up, to start taking over institutions within our communities and controlling those institutions. Or we will be 5 years closer to our ultimate demise.